Indiana Jake and the dialysis of disappointment continues its awful, pathetic decline at the box office. In second week, it's just been destroyed, being beaten out by pretty much every new movie that comes into cinemas. Even Sound of Freedom beat it on July 4th, and so-called mainstream media freaked out over that. But it's pretty clear that this movie is going to lose a lot of money. Nobody's interested in it. You went out of your way to absolutely destroy this franchise, and now you're getting what you deserve. Let's take a look at the numbers here for this god-awful garbage. That's the only way to put it. It now sits at $252 million worldwide box office. That is absolutely abysmal. Honestly, that is abysmal. It is crawling along trying to reach the 300 million. Crawling along trying to reach it. And you have to keep in mind, with a production budget of over 300 million, this movie has to make something like about probably 800 to 900 million just to break even. This had to be a $1 billion movie success, and it's not even. It'll be lucky if it makes it to 400 million. That's it. That's how bad it is. It'll be lucky if it makes it to 400 million, and it has not given any indication that it might even reach there, if at all. It might, but yes. You go down now to look at the numbers. Look at this. On July 10th, a 73% drop. And in theaters, you have this in 4,600 theaters, and per theater it only made $703. As opposed to the others here, when it's done like 1,005, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, all the way down, it's dropped down to the $703. It's made on July 10th. This is its 11th day. You understand? It's not getting any better. It's an embarrassment now. Look at these numbers. It's a total embarrassment. So, of course, with it literally on the decline and everything pointing towards the fact that this movie is going to turn out to be quite possibly the biggest box office disaster for Lucasfilm in decades, what else to do now? Well, time to start the blame game, because it's everybody else's fault, not their own. Get into this article here from Bounding Into Comics. James Mangold, that's the director of Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Disappointment, derides fans as divisive for not liking his deconstruction of Indiana Jones. In Indiana Jake and the Dialysis of Depression. Let's get into this. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny director James Mangold decided to deride fans for not liking his deconstruction of Indiana Jones. Yeah, because you're supposed to love how they're messing up this character. That's what you're supposed to love. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter, Mangold was asked by Brian Davids, "Life is filled with peaks and valleys, and I appreciate when my fictional heroes such as Indy have their ups and downs. So why does a segment of the audience seem to want these legacy characters to be infallible? I just can't figure out why anyone would want such little drama." Okay, well, let me try to explain it to you, James Mangold. It's not that people don't want drama. It's not that people don't understand that these characters are human and they have ups and downs. But that's not what you did. What you did was turn Indiana Jones into a decrepit old man who yells at his neighbors for playing music too loud. His life is in the toilet. He is retiring from teaching. He doesn't even seem to like that anymore. His wife is divorcing him. His son is dead. He's given up on everything. And throughout the entire movie, he's just being ridiculed, torn down, mashed up and stomped all over by some annoying British woman who has no purpose in being there whatsoever. The minute people heard Phoebe Waller-Bridge was going to be in this, they knew what they were going to get. So it's not to say like there's a small segment of fans who see it. What you have to realize is that people are waking up to it. They see what you're doing. You don't want to make these movies to build up these characters. You must tear them down, throw them on the ground, stomp all over them, and then say, you know what? You're supposed to love this mess that we've left behind. That ain't happening. He then went on to say, well, there's a point where these characters become symbols more than characters. And so there becomes this anxiety that if you examine the humanity of a hero, you somehow weaken them. Clearly, he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. He then continued on, and honestly, I can't speak to how fans relate and wrestle with these questions in relation to other movies. But certainly in relation to mine, I think your question almost has my answer built into it. I mean, I think you're in a sense already addressing it. Good drama gives a hero a problem. If a movie is about a beautiful hero who is capable of anything and is virtually indestructible and is without any personal issues or concerns, then you just have a fashion video with action. So you literally explaining the problem with Phoebe Waller-Bridge and all the things that they try to do when they try to push these female characters in that have done nothing to build themselves up. They are perfect at everything. They have to tear down the male leads, and this is what it is. But no, when you look at movies before, well, hell, you could even look at Mission Impossible that just came out. I've been hearing really good things about it. The female characters are done right. You don't have to tear down a male character to build up a female character. But when you're coming out and saying that, listen, it's perfectly fine to tear down these heroes. No, you're taking away what makes Indiana Jones Indiana Jones. And this is why people have a problem with it. But you don't seem to get that. Go on with some other nonsense I'm going to get into. Right. Mangold then accused critics of his deconstruction of being divisive when it was his and Lucasfilm's choice to deconstruct Indiana Jones in the first place. He said, so if people want to be divisive in the age of social media, they can focus on where a character starts as opposed to where they end, or they can focus on where they end as opposed to where they start. So Indiana Jones started off the movie as a bum, ended the movie as a bum. How did you do anything good then? I don't know. Ironically, Mangold previously admitted he was deconstructing Indiana Jones and that moviegoers would have to readjust and retool their brains for this guy. So he goes on, but you see, the thing about it, let me get to the part I want to talk about. Right. This is not the first time Mangold has lashed out and made accusations against Indiana Jones fans expressing their concerns. Mangold infamously threw a temper tantrum when YouTuber Matthew Kaddish shared his concern about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny back in June 2021. This is what this Matthew Kaddish wrote on Twitter. To anyone thinking Indiana Jones 5 might be good, just let me point out. 1. Steven Spielberg is not directing. 2. Kathleen Kennedy is producing. 3. Harrison Ford is 78 years old. 4. It's written by Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote Solo. So clearly he was right, and this is back in 2021. Clearly he was right. Mangold took exception to the tweet and responded by insulting him. Thanks, Matt. 1. Keep making the world a better place, crapping on things in the first week of production from your basement. 2. Never seen a script by John. Nothing against him, just reality. Butterworths, and I started from a blank page. And 1 to 3 are hugely talented and all at my side. He then continued and responded, we don't have basement, we do have a kick-ass studio with a Batman statue. Mangold then replied, yeah, that's a kick-ass studio. Congrats on the Batman statue and the jar of cork. So how about you let me finish my film and then bitch all you want about it in front of your vinyl bricks lit by your fancy bounce light, and maybe don't call opinion news. Well, clearly his opinion was correct because the movie turned out to be a massive dud. But this is what I'm talking about. It could never be their fault. From before it started, you see it here, from literally before the movie even came out, this YouTuber expressed concerns. He took it and ran with it and made it a big thing. And what we've come to understand now is that there were worse endings because they reshot Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny so many times, and because test screenings showed it, and they showed that, Indy was supposed to die and Phoebe Waller-Bridge was going to take over. He said, I don't kind of think, and fans hated that. They had to reshoot it so many times, and this crap is the best that they came up with. And from what I understand, you can tell that there are plot points in the movie that never go anywhere because they just cut and paste anything together. This is what they were doing. So you're out here kicking up a storm against fans for your terrible movie because, once again, it's never your fault. So never to be left out of sucking up to Disney or anybody else comes the king of all shills, CBR. They jump into the mix too. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny still has a major diversity problem. So yeah, feminism and diversity would have saved this movie. I don't know where these people get these ideas from. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny touts itself as a feminist-leaning film, but it has major issues when it comes to inclusivity of other groups. And you wonder why it failed. Look at a prime example of it right there. I'm going to get to the part, I don't go through all of that, I want to get to the part that they were talking about. Right, Indiana Jones 5 makes Helena the embodiment of colonialism. Let me read some of this. In Dial of Destiny, Helena is depicted as wanting to help Indy heal after Mutt's death. Unfortunately, the goodwill behind Helena's writing is hurt by the fact she's a white English woman who steals relics to sell them on the black market. Worse yet, Helena is depicted taking joy in the illegal industry. This portrayal is in poor taste given the ongoing real-life campaigns by indigenous nations to have their treasures and relics returned to them across the Americas, Asia, and Africa. With reparations being a big part of the collective conversation, it's weird to think Indiana Jones 5 would celebrate Helena as a thief who only cares to make a profit and has no interest in the cultures or people she's stealing from. So, I personally don't think anybody who sat down and watched this movie thought to themselves, why is this British woman stealing these artifacts and selling them on the black market? That's so wrong. What about cultural appropriation? She should be doing charity work and helping people. It's called fiction for a reason, people. Yes, it's based in real world things that happen, but it's fiction. Get over yourselves with this shit. It's not everything needs to be depicting of some real world thing. It's called fiction. People just want to sit there, watch something, and enjoy themselves. So keep in mind, they clearly didn't enjoy this movie, but it's just fiction. And you're saying that, what could have helped this movie is if they had portrayed Helena or whoever the hell Phoebe Waller-Bridge character was playing as some woman who was helping to rescue artifacts. Come on, man. She was annoying and considered in the movie, and nobody liked her. That was literally her big problem. Nobody liked her. She didn't even seem to know what she wanted to be. And then in the end, big thing, she knocks out India and brings him back to the future. Wow. Come on, man. At least pretend like you know what the hell you're talking about now. Like this probably isn't written by some god or something. Go on. The writing for Helena is a stark reminder of how colonialism continues to pervade society today. In this case, in the form of continued theft of indigenous lands and artifacts by European nations and those of European descent. Had the film introduced Salah's granddaughter as a new generation adventurer rather than making Helena up, this unfortunate message could have been avoided. It could have also felt more organic to the plot and in these past. More specifically, introducing Salah's granddaughter could have done more to wipe away stigmas and stereotypes while showing fans the franchise willing to make meaningful change. It would have especially been more thoughtful for a minority to help Indy retire and usher in a new era. So you're So your the thing I say that this would have fixed this movie was if it had some person of color doing something, helping in me from the minority group, and that would have fixed it. And they have this woman here with the CIA or something. In addition to writing of Helena Dialogue, there's also treated character of color very poorly. It's understandable. Movie set in 1969, but there was still a chance to depict a more cosmopolitan world in an action-adventure film. Remember, continue. And sadly, the one black character in the film, a female CIA agent named Mason, is killed off by the Nazis after the CIA forces her to work with them. It's a harrowing arc as she sees them murdering innocents, yet has to show restraint and muzzle herself. Actor Shaunti Renee Wilson even had to ask about changing how her character would die in the movie, which still doesn't make it any better. In the decade that gave rise to the American Civil War. Okay, you know what? Come on now, man. What's really wrong with you all? The whole thing now is that what they weren't treating Helena's character right, and no, they weren't treating this black woman right. That the movie was terrible. That's just it. But no, because you refuse to admit that the movie was bad, let's come out and blame everything on everybody else. You understand me? We have James Mangold blaming the fans, and now we have CBR saying that you know the movie was bad because Helena was depicted badly, and this woman of color wasn't given her a chance to shine. I think it was set in a movie with Nazis in it. They literally held the Holocaust. They don't like black people. They don't like other people. Okay, I think that's the whole thing behind Nazis. But no, you wanted some rainbow-filled cosmopolitan world where everybody's happy. What the hell is wrong with you people? The movie sucked. It was terrible. They did something stupid. Get over it. You know your thoughts on this in the comments. You have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, then hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.